Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria ISD continues their search for a superintendent. We'll tell you when a new candidate could be named. And more threats against federal workers as they try to help those recovering from major storms that battered the southeast. Plus, as the Boeing strike continues, the number of lost revenue for the company climbs. The latest on what analysts are predicting the company has lost.
And it is officially time to get excited, y'all. We are only T-minus 24 hours away from fall weather, our fall cold front coming through our area. We're going to look at that and everything trying to develop in the tropics coming up in the weather.
And the Cuero Gobblers battle the Sinton Pirates here in Week 8 of high school football. That's coming up here in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and happy Tuesday, Crossroads. We are officially 3 weeks away from Election Day, Parker.
That's right. We are 3 weeks away from Election Day. We're halfway through, almost halfway through the weekend, but we are halfway through the month.
That's right. And early voting starts on October 21st. So these are very important dates to keep in mind. And we have another item that you need to put on your calendar. It is a candidate forum for District 30. The two candidates for that are AJ Louderback and Stephanie Bassam.
That's right.
So we're doing a partnership with the Chamber of Commerce and the Victoria Advocate. It's going to be at 6 p.m. on October 23rd. I need to check what day of the week that is. So it's going to be at 6 p.m. at UHV North. So there on the University of Houston Victoria campus. I believe people will be able to attend. I know we'll have coverage of that debate. And it's actually a forum.
All right. Well, we're not too far away from that. If you believe that, it's only 2 weeks away, actually.
3 weeks.
Yeah, sorry, 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I was trying
3
to do the
weeks
math
away.
here. Well, if y'all are getting excited for that, you know, I'm sure y'all have stepped outside lately. It's been nothing but hot, hot, hot. Well, we've actually been on a 90-plus degree streak for the last 34, 35 days straight, and we've actually been without rain for that same amount of time. But that is all going to come to an end, at least that's the rain part, but the temperatures are coming our way tomorrow. We're going to take a look here in just a second, because right now, if you're tuning in with us this morning and looking live here in Victoria, it's 59 degrees, much nicer out there this morning. A little bit humid with the 2.1 degree off, making humidity at 96%, but we're not really expecting that much fog out there this morning. If you do see it, it's going to be really thin, kind of streaks floating through the air. That's the good news today, but the other good news is that cold front, we're still expecting that. It is time to officially get excited. Fall is coming our way going into tomorrow morning. I'm thinking that front's going to arrive probably coming through the crossroads between 5 to 10 a.m. Probably going to be closer to 6 to 7 a.m. is my guess, if I had to be exact. And that front has actually picked up a little bit in strength over the last 24 hours. And now we are expecting about half of us in the upper 70s and the other half in the low 80s come Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But before that gets here, it's going to be one more hot day. So if you're sending your kiddos at the door today, prepare them for upper 90s. We're going to look at that more coming up next. Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The Victoria School District is narrowing down candidates for superintendent. A pool of 8 candidates has been reduced to 3 for the second round of interviews through Wednesday. A lone finalist is expected to be announced Thursday. And once trustees announce a lone finalist, state law requires a minimum 21-day waiting period for the community to gather background information on the candidate and opportunities for the candidate to meet with stakeholders to address questions and concerns that arise. The Victoria School District Board of Trustees also talked about nominations for the Central Appraisal District. The Central Appraisal District Board is responsible for overseeing the chief appraiser, who makes sure the properties are surveyed, along with approving the appraisal district's budget. Board President for VISD, Mike Mercer, wants the community to know the Board of Directors is not responsible for the dollar amount that's assigned to a property appraisal.
It's incredibly important that there is community voice on that governance board to ensure that the policies are followed, that state laws are followed.
There are 5 people who are nominated for the Board of Directors position. The board is made up of members from City Council, the school board, and members of Commissioners Court. Victoria ISD's board nominated Jan Scott, Micah Patton, Brian Morris, Jason Ort, and Dr. John McNeil. The Victoria City Council meets today at 5 p.m. Here are some items from their agenda. The council will hear a Friends of the Library Week proclamation from Mayor Dwayne Crocker, and they'll propose the adoption of a Bring Your Own Beverage, BYOB establishment ordinance. The ordinance would prohibit BYOB establishments from operating in the city of Victoria between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. The proposal comes after the police department expanded patrol to respond to an increasing number of incidents. The council meets at 107 West Wallen Street in council chambers. Logan Allen O'Connor is expected in a Jackson County courtroom this morning. The 28-year-old former Edna ISD coach was arrested and charged with 3 felony offenses on September 16th. O'Connor was booked and charged with the online solicitation of a minor, a third-degree felony, as well as 2 second-degree felonies, improper relationship between an educator and a student, and with inducing the sexual performance of a child. We'll be following the story later today. Come to crossroadstoday.com for updates. Sean Diddy Combs is facing a series of new lawsuits alleging sexual assault and rape spanning 2 decades. The 6 new lawsuits were filed anonymously, 2 by women and 4 by men. The complaints span from 1995 to 2021 and include allegations of sexual assault and rape. Among the accusers is a man who was 16 at the time of the alleged incident and a 19-year-old college student. Combs is currently being held in a detention facility in New York City on separate federal criminal charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Now, to a suspect under arrest accused of threatening FEMA workers helping people recover from the recent hurricanes. We're getting new information from both storm zones, North Carolina and Florida, where flooding and power outages remain big concerns.
A North Carolina man is out on bail after allegedly threatening federal workers trying to help the region recover from Hurricane Helene. Officials say 44-year-old William Parsons threatened to harm FEMA employees while armed with a rifle and a handgun. FEMA has said it has made some operational adjustments following the threat.
The worst part of it is that the disaster survivors are really being hurt by this.
The arrest comes after weeks of misinformation about FEMA's response to recent hurricanes, but in nearby Asheville, signs of hope. Water services returning to parts of the city 17 days after the hurricane knocked out essential services. Nearly 100 people were killed in North Carolina by Helene, and overnight in Florida, the death toll rising after Hurricane Milton. Officials there say at least 23 people have died following last week's storm. Communities still reeling from power outages, long gas lines, and lingering flooding.
This is what the Silver Oaks neighborhood in Zephyr Hills, Florida looks like. It is under waist-deep water. Residents here tell me that about 50 homes have been impacted, and this water hasn't receded at all.
In Florida, as of last night, about 200,000 customers were still out of power 5 days after Milton's landfall. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
A new analysis has found the Boeing strike has so far cost the company nearly $5 billion. Not a single plane has been worked on at the production facility in Everett, Washington since 33,000 members of the International Association of Machinists walked off the job a month ago. Talks between Boeing and the striking workers broke off last week after 2 days of federal mediated negotiating. Meanwhile, Boeing announced Friday it would be laying off 10% of its workforce over the next several months. Remember to follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:38 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. A NASA spacecraft is on its way to one of Jupiter's moons.
With how both presidential campaigns tried courting voters in battleground Pennsylvania. That's coming up.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast, it's going to be one more hot day today before the front arrives. I'll tell you how I think it's going to be here in the Crossroads. But coming up later on Sunrise, we're also going to continue looking at what else is trying to form out there in the tropics. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live at Cuero this morning. Another nice and not super humid out there in Cuero right now, sitting at 63 degrees. Not super humid. I say that because you're a little bit further away from that Gulf air mass, but dew point 11, about 9 degrees actually, off from near temperature, bringing humidity to 71%. So, like I said, that's not as humid as everywhere along Highway 59 and south of that, because you're a little bit closer to that warm Gulf water. But look at your temperatures for today. It's going to be another beaming sunny day, and actually going to be one more hot day, like I said, before that front arrives tonight. We're going to take a look at that here just after this, because highs today, I'm thinking about a high about 97 here in Victoria. This computer thinks 95. Everybody else is going to see about the same at about 95, 96, 97, maybe even a couple of us seeing at 98 today. Unless you're along the Mid Coast, you're going to see highs in the low 90s. I got a 93 forecast high in Fort Lavaca for today. But look at yesterday's weather. If y'all thought yesterday was hot, get a load of what it actually got up to yesterday. This was reported out at the airport where it's a little bit more grassy, so we can actually discount that. I actually have a weather station in my backyard, and that reported 100 to 101 degrees yesterday. That is actually a record temperature set. We were 5 degrees above our record of 96 degrees set in 1910. But in the background, we do still have some moderate pollen, actually some high pollen out there. Moderate tree and grass today. I would highly recommend taking an allergy pill today, as ragweed pollen is going to be high as well. I've had sniffles all morning long, so I would highly recommend that pill today. But more, if you're going down to the coast today, it's another great day to do that. Water's still pretty warm in the 80s, and your waves are pretty smooth at 1 foot or less. But we've got lots more sunshine and some clouds picking up as we go into this weekend, and maybe even some rain chances and that front coming tomorrow. But coming up next, we're taking a look at what's going on in the tropics.
Now, we made it through week 7 here of high school football. We had some surprises and we had some not so big surprises, but we're going to look at one game here in week 8 between the Cuero Gobblers and the Sinton Pirates. And both of these teams head in this game on winning paths, right? Cuero is 5-2 this season, while the Sinton Pirates, they're 6-0. For the Pirates, they scored over 20 points in each one of their games here this season. They've looked pretty impressive, and they're one of the top offenses in the entire 4A. And it should be a challenge for Cuero. Cuero's not going to back down at all. They got, again, a backup quarterback after they lost star quarterback in Jackson Marie earlier in the year, but they still have one of the top receivers in Walker Dietz, who's going to be a factor throughout the rest of the season here for the Gobblers. And these teams are big rivals. They used to be rivals back in the day, and they're going to have a showdown here, and I expect this one to be close and all the way down to the wire. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Just 3 weeks to go in the race for the White House. Both presidential candidates held events in Battleground, Pennsylvania Monday, each taking a very different approach.
Outside of Philadelphia and inside of a warm event center Monday, former President Trump got roughly 30 minutes into a town hall when the first medical emergency happened. An attendee was placed on a stretcher. Then moments later, another person needed medical attention. Trump paused his Q&A, instead addressing the heat in the room.
For your boy. That's for your boy.
As the song Ave Maria blasted over the loudspeaker, the event continued as the second fallen attendee made their way out of the venue.
Would anybody else like to faint?
Trump touched on issues related to immigration, the Afghanistan withdrawal, and the importance of winning Pennsylvania before turning to his soundtrack for 45 minutes.
Let's not do any more questions. Let's just listen to music. Let's make it into a music. Who the hell wants to hear questions, right? Isn't that beautiful?
Across the state, in Erie, Vice President Harris went with a tactic Trump often uses, playing clips of her opponent on large monitors around the arena, slamming him for calling his opponents the enemy within.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged. And he is out for unchecked power.
Earlier in the day, Harris stopped by a black-owned business as she continues to chip away at both a key demographic and the #1 issue in this election, the economy. Harris inching closer to Trump when it comes to voter confidence on the economy, with inflation and interest rates down and the stock market hitting another record high. On Monday, Harris announced new small business incentives, including a plan to provide 1 million loans to black entrepreneurs. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, are you a small business owner? Okay, let's take a look. 32% of you say yes, you are, and 68% of you say no, you are not. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. NASA is on its way to one of Jupiter's moons, with the Europa spacecraft launching Monday. It will now travel 1.8 billion miles over more than 5 years to reach Jupiter. The icy moon of Jupiter has long been thought to harbor a vast ocean and is considered one of the most promising places in the solar system to search for extraterrestrial life. This will be the first dedicated mission to the moon and NASA's first time studying an ocean world beyond Earth. The time is now 6:46 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come, we learn about the legal impacts of posting a threat posting about a threat to a school on social media. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Aliana. Happy 10th birthday, Aliana Sophia. We love you, Mom, Dad, and sisters.
Oh, look at that sweet picture. Happy birthday, Eliana. And also, hey, happy birthday to Emeril Lagasse. The celebrity chef is turning 65 today. Happy birthday, Emeril. Maybe bring some of that food over here.
I'm already having flashbacks to the soba noodles I had.
There you go, making us hungry this morning. Well, happy birthday. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the home tab, and then you'll see submit your birthday photo.
All right, it's now 6:46, about 6:47 on our Tuesday morning, and I want to wish a belated happy birthday to my friend Ernesto. He's an artist, and he's very active in the community. He's very talented.
Good for him. Happy birthday, Ernesto, and happy birthday if you're celebrating with us today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all are still wondering what's going on out there in the tropics. Well, I still bring y'all some good news today. We're going to get to that here in just a second. But I'm going to start out with what the National Hurricane Center has out there right now. They've actually just issued this little yellow shaded area right here in the Western Caribbean, also parts of Eastern Central America. And they also still have this orange little shaded area. We're going to get to that as well and here in just a second. But the reason I'm kind of mentioning this little yellow shaded area here is because I'm going to turn that off and turn back on the yellow shaded area that I've had up for the last 2 weeks. And we're still watching that little yellow shaded area for possible development. And what we're looking at right now is there's this upper level tropical wave right here. You can see kind of spinning counterclockwise with some of the convection around it. There's another, actually not another, but there's a lot of convection, lots of thunderstorm activity right here, and really just all in this little yellow shaded area right here. And what the National Hurricane Center and computers are expecting or suggesting is going to happen is that over time, this tropical wave is going to continue moving westerly, and it's going to meet up with all these thunderstorms. And they're going to be looking at something really very slowly trying to spin up as we go into this weekend and early next week. The good news that I was talking about earlier is that the computers are suggesting that whatever does form here is going to move westward into Central America, maybe even west-northwestward into parts of southern Mexico as well. But the iffy news is going to be this system. The National Hurricane Center has chances of development at 60% over the next 7 days on this one. And what computers are suggesting with this one is that this is going to continue moving westward, and it's going to continue moving over the islands and maybe even into the northern Caribbean as we go into the next week. We're going to have more details on that next week and more coming up later on Sunrise.
Victoria ISD is facing a rise in social media threats and incidents at campuses. Schools nationwide are seeing the same trend. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting has more information on how the district and law enforcement are addressing this issue.
Victoria ISD has dealt with a rash of weapon-related threats in the early part of the school year. The response from the district and law enforcement has focused on expressing how serious they take these threats and how serious the charges are. Sheriff Marr says they already have had 15 arrests since the school year started. Last week, starting on Monday, October 7th, was the first week of the year with no arrests or threats. The sheriff's office is still expressing the importance of staying vigilant and responding to threats quickly.
Time is of the essence. You want to find out where the threat's coming from, see if there's any credibility to it or not.
Making a false report on a threat may also have the same penalties as making the threat yourself. Legal experts say that those who share info they know is false or can't verify could lead to legal action similar to yelling fire in a theater or bomb in an airport.
As if you knowingly repeat or make a report of something that you know not to be true, then you can be charged with a crime.
Law enforcement shared the sentiment by saying people should call the department to report threats instead of using social media.
There's no tolerance on this. If you're a part of it, we want you to report it to law enforcement, but don't report it on your own social media platforms.
VISD held a conference in September addressing the threats, featuring several reps from police to the district attorney's office. They all shared the message that students should avoid interacting with threats on social media and that the consequences could be dire.
You don't want to go through your life, especially these young men and women, with that. I mean, it can hinder you getting jobs and all kinds of things.
Trenton Whiting, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Pandas arriving at the nation's capital today. We learn their names after the break. They're adorable. Playful and highly effective diplomats, 2 giant pandas from China are arriving in Washington, D.C. today. Their new home is the Smithsonian National Zoo. The pandas are on loan to the zoo for 10 years. The facility is closed to visitors today while the 3-year-old pandas settle in to their new home. Baoli is a male whose name means precious figure. Baoli's mother is a former National Zoo celebrity and his grandparents lived there for 23 years. His female companion's name is Qingbao, meaning green treasure. Airline Road between Main Street and Navarro Street will close overnight for a utility tie-in. It's part of the construction of the public safety headquarters. The road will close at 10 p.m. Tuesday and reopen at 3 a.m. Wednesday. Motorists should drive cautiously and obey all signs and barricades posted in the work zone. Through traffic can avoid delays by seeking alternate routes. Texans are invited to join a Red Cross shelter volunteer training session. It'll be October 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at First Baptist Church in Bay City. The training equips you to assist disaster victims both locally and nationwide. As a Red Cross volunteer, you can deploy across the country for at least 14 days with all travel expenses covered. Lunch will be provided during the session. To find out more, visit crossroadstoday.com. Victoria County Commissioners voted to enact a burn ban for unincorporated areas of Victoria County due to dry conditions. You can contact the Victoria County Fire Marshal's office at 361-579-9103 if you have any questions regarding the burning in unincorporated areas of Victoria County. For more information regarding the burn ban, come to crossroadstoday.com for the details. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. All right, now we have time for a look at our somewhat darker sunrise than we're used to than usual. Parker, that daylight savings time is right around the corner.
It's coming a little bit closer, and you can notice that with the sunrise is getting a little bit darker out this morning. If you're tuning in with us this morning, folks, you're looking live here in Port Lavaca at 64 degrees. Quite nice down there along the coast. A little bit humid, though, with the humidity at 100%, but we're not expecting fog out there. Even though this computer says 0-mile visibility, you can see right there. Not really expecting that much. If you do see any, it's going to be really thin streaks out there this morning. Don't really need to worry about any thick fog out there today. But look at your satellite. That is also quite clear, bringing us another quite clear sunny day today. And actually, skies are going to continue to be clear tonight, making it one last night. That would be good viewing weather to go see the Comet A3. You're going to want to look due west between 7:40 to 8 p.m. It's going to be to the right of Venus tonight. Like I said, just last night, it's going to be tonight. But look at your high temperatures all across our beautiful state today. Lots of mid and upper 90s. But look at tomorrow after the front passes through. We got 70s, even 60s up in the Panhandle going to tomorrow. But today, look at your a little bit more personal forecast. I'm thinking a high about 93 in Port Lavaca today. Lots of sunshine. A little bit warmer in Victoria. I'm thinking 97 today, and a little bit warmer than us. And in Cuero, I'm thinking 98. But we, like I said, just got this last day, one more day of heat before that front arrives in about 24 hours.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank y'all for joining us. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and remember to follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Shauna, Don, Mac, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. And don't forget to pick up your local Victoria Advocate.